Somewhere in between the last video and this one, I came down with an amazing allergy attack, and thus my nose is appropriately stuffed for these next few videos. So with that said, you have reached Clues for Success, Volume 5, answering the question, how can we display the data from that table that we just imported graphically onto the screen? So here are my hints for you to get you going. First of all, we have a couple different columns within the table that we need to read from. One, we're probably going to need to have a string called word, and we'll read from that word category, probably within a for loop that runs the whole length of the table. So we would run it for get row count. That will basically be equivalent to the length of the table. And we would need an integer for the frequency. We would probably also need integers or floating numbers for x and y coordinates, which probably should be randomized. And if you run all of this through a for loop, you can easily iterate over the whole table that you've imported. You could even do some stuff with setting the color, setting the fill, and then use the frequency of the word to determine some type of size. So the command would be text size, and you could create your own algorithm right here. You know, something like frequency divided by, I don't know, 50. And that'll set the text size. You might want to actually set this equal to a variable. So you might want to say something like int size equals frequency divided by 50, and then use this size variable and set a conditional here so that this text size cannot go below a certain amount. And those are my clues for you. If you want to know how to actually do it, stick around after the break. All right, so over here, first thing I want to do is I want to set a size for my canvas. So let's do, I don't know, 800 by 600 should be good. Down here, I can use the same for loop that I used in the previous video. It's still going to work, but I'm going to take out this print line right here. You'll notice that I actually did put a no loop up in here so that it did not give me an error. I'm actually going to take that out because it'll make for a pretty cool graphical effect, you'll see. And what we want to do right here is we want to set all of these different variables right here. So the first one is that we set a string. We're going to call it word. And if you remember from the actual file itself, word is in column 0, frequency is in column 1. So word equals table dot, the command is get string, and then the parameters are row, comma, column. So our row is going to be the I, and our column is 0 in this case. And likewise, we're going to grab the frequency. So int frequency equals table. This time we're going to use get int rather than get string. It's still going to be I for the row number, but this time the column is going to be 1. We're also going to want our x and our y. So x is going to equal a random number, and we're going to set it equal to a random number between 0 and the width of the canvas. Likewise, our y will be set to a random number between 0 and the height of the canvas. And then our size, let's set a size variable here, int size. It will just, for now, we'll just say frequency divided by 50. It may be that we have to change that. It might not be, you know, if a word is used 7,000 times, it's going to be fairly large, even with 50 right here. And then I'm going to set a conditional. If size is less than, let's say the minimum text size is 5. So if size is less than 5, then set size equal to 5. We don't want it to go below 5, otherwise we won't be able to see it on the screen, and we might even get an error. So let's do that, and let's set text size equal to size, And then I'm going to go up here. I'm going to make sure that we have a black background. So up at the top, I'm going to say background 0. And last but not least, I'm actually going to print out the word, which is saved into a string value here. And I'm going to print it at our random X and Y location. And if we press play, let's see what happens. And awesome. You'll notice that it is cycling through a million words a second here. That's because we didn't put the no loop in there, but I wanted to show you that it kind of looks like an old TV, fuzzy reception. But if we put a no loop up at the top right here, it'll just do it one time. And let's take a look at what that looks like. There are words represented graphically. A little challenge for you is, could you make it so that the words do not go off of the canvas, like this word thou right here, which you really can't see because the half of the O and the U are off of the canvas. See if you can make all the words fit on the canvas. That would be a good challenge for you. Other than that, there's your code for the bronze level. Hope you enjoy it. It's time to step up to silver, ladies and gents.